This episode is brought to you by William Hill's Final One Standing. It's free to play, it's the ultimate elimination game. How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Fourever Arsenal podcast. As Jordan messes up the intro by ripping paper.
Sorry, no, I was opening my I was just opening my the packet for my.
Oh, no worries. Wait for my intro to open that. No worries, man.
Well, if you saw my face, I was trying to do it quietly. Didn't realize it was as loud as it was. So apologies.
There is a mute button somewhere there, but it's all right.
There is.
We'll get to that page in the manual soon, man. Don't worry about that. I know you ain't been in the business long. Welcome back, people. Welcome back. International break hasn't changed a thing. We're still doing what we're doing over here. There's three of us. I mean, James ain't here, but he's on holiday, as he does. He enjoys during the breaks, and he was over in Nashville, Tennessee, enjoying his life. And when James enjoys his life, he says, "Yeah, F the pod. You lot do handle it yourselves." But yeah, we're here, Lee, Jordan, and myself in the building. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you are subscribed. We've got our predictions to make, final one standings to pick. Some of us are still in with a chance to win the 500k, but we'll get onto that shortly. But it's been international break. We've spoken briefly, Lee. We've done a supporters club recently. So Jordan, I haven't really spoken to you about Arsenal related stuff, but generally, how are we feeling anyway? How's the international break been?
Yeah, man, decent. I'm not as down as I think most people are on international breaks. I mean, I don't love them, but they're a necessary evil. They've got to be played at some point. So yeah, I don't they don't bother me as much as everybody else. But glad the Premier League's back. Lots of our boys in action over the last 10 days. Generally, from what I've seen, have done pretty well. I've been in teams that have won and performed pretty well. And Odegaard had a really good showing, albeit against, was it Armenia? They won 11-1 or 11-0.
It was Moldova, wasn't it? Is it Moldova?
Was it Moldova? Okay, yeah.
Well researched.
Yeah, journalist.
As always.
The Arsenal boys for England did well. A certain Spanish player or couple did well in a certain international against a certain nation this week. One getting a hat trick.
Keep the wording up. Keep that wording up.
You know what I mean? That's a humbling, that is.
Ouch.
Ouch.
Yeah, ouch. We're lucky to say Forever Internationals, is it? It's Forever Arsenal, so.
So moving on from that.
Ouch.
No, it's generally been a good. it's been a good 10 days for a lot of our boys. But yeah, glad the Premier League's back.
So am I after that result. But Lee, yeah, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I like this, and the internationals don't bother me, So I'll see you getting a bit of stick for the Turkey result, which I would never do.
Of course not. Wouldn't expect it.
I went into my dry cleaners, because I obviously don't do dry cleaners, so I used to do a bit of work for them, and they're Turkish, and they just, as I walked in, they went out. I do not know what you mean, what I mean. So I've got 6 items here, and they sort of went out.
Did you?
So
did you?
Yeah, which is a bit bad of me, what I mean. It probably didn't help singing the Marino song as I went in there, but anyway, that's another story. So,
but speaking of out, just a quick word for our Nigerian brothers and sisters. It's another World Cup that they're not going to qualify for, which the talent they've got in that squad, and to not qualify for another World Cup is pretty bad. I should have double checked this as well, but I think Jamaica have still an outside chance of qualifying for the World Cup. I don't think they're completely out yet. So those were a couple of non-English results over the 10 days that I noticed.
You kept an eye on.
Quite interesting. No, Nigeria, that's a bad one. That is, what I mean. So,
that's 3 in a row. I think that's 3 World Cups in a row now they've not qualified.
Yeah, they're a big fish in in the
Yeah.
footballing world, aren't they? So, yeah.
Too bad.
Oh well.
Oh well.
Oh well, that's how it goes. You know what I mean? I'm not
Yeah,
like,
we're not here to discuss the intricacies of the international break.
nah,
Just
Well, you asked. I mean,
like the thing is, the international break also, like, you know, I don't know about you guys, but it's like England, for instance, and other teams. They're guaranteed qualifying. It's not like it's just, you know, you say about teams like Nigeria and all that, like, can't like, you know, it's a cakewalk. You know what I mean? Like, it really is. You know, so it ain't even like debatable that, you know, England are not going to qualify, like, you know, and other teams as well, like, you know. So I just think it's a waste of time. Like, I'm not one of these people that misses the Arsenal. I quite enjoy just having a weekend off nowadays, like, you know what I mean, and just away from it and all. So because, guys, this weekend pressure's on, boys. Pressure is on. You know what I mean? Like, we've got to win our next 2 home games, so there's pressure on the weekend, and not so much on the Tuesday, because you know, you don't necessarily have to win that. It's about qualifying. But these 2 games now at home now are absolute pressure game. And I've heard people, oh, Angie's in there, the back, like, you know, no excuses, please. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care if they've got Ange, Pep, and like whatever. You know what I mean? Like, we are going for the title. They're not. We've got better players than them. It's nothing to do with the matchup. It's to do with what we do and what Arteta does, is sets it up and everything like that. And I see that there's already excuses being made just in case, you know, from the Colts, that just in case things go wrong. You know what I mean? It's not Mikel's fault. Like, you know what I mean? Arsenal have to win this game, boys, and there's pressure on every game.
I mean, you could argue the next 4 free home games and an away trip to Newcastle that, you know, the team we're going up against, Liverpool, managed to pull 3 points out of. You could argue, you know, we need 12 out of 12 in the next 4 before the next international break. This international break just gone, though, it does feel like it's added a bit more pressure because everyone has, or a lot of the, you know, starters especially, have performed. They have shown up. They have either scored or assisted or played some part in a win along the way. For example, let's use Spain. You know, we joked about it, but I mean, their performance against us was crazy. Performance against Bulgaria too. I think Zubamendi shone. Zubamendi and Marino shining in midfield. I mean, that's something we're yet to see in an Arsenal shirt in terms of the impact they had for Spain that they've had so far this season for Arsenal. So I think when you look at the way that Spain make it work with them two there, obviously Pedri's key to that. Yeah, that you know, how will Arteta mold it moving forward? Not to say Mourinho starts game moving forward in that position, but he's an option. He's a goal threat, and if he does play, we never see him play with the freedom that he showed against Spain. Zubamendi, for example, he was very high up the pitch for Spain. He got an assist in the first game. He was breaking the line. He was just moving the ball quick. That's what we want to see in an Arsenal shirt. Madueke, that was a nice goal. You know, off the last man, couple touches and a dink off over the keeper. So I think all of these, Odegaard got a few goal contributions as well. So I think all of these things have added to, you know, that performance against Liverpool was so, because of the result, you know, everything was out of the window. You know, it doesn't matter that for 85 minutes of that game, it was looking like a draw. We lost it, and the way we lost it then becomes a problem. So when key players are going on international break and performing the way they've performed this international break, I think it's only right to use that and bounce back, you know, with a spring in your step against Forest, Jordan.
Yeah, I agree. I think, like I said, I think a lot of our boys are coming coming into this game off the back of good weeks. We're still missing obviously Saka, and I don't know if Saliba. Did France have any games over the 10 days?
Lieber's out. The rumor is 3-4 weeks he's out for, but then I think Charles Watts yesterday said there's no confirmation of that. That came out 2-3 days ago that he's out for 3-4, but Charles Watts said there's no confirmation. He's definitely out.
Okay.
But how long we don't know.
But either way, I think most of our boys, come into this game on the weekend off the back of having relatively good campaigns. I'm with Lee. I just, it's interesting to a degree because it's always interesting when a new manager comes in, what he'll do with the new group of players. You know, Nottingham Forest's last game, they got smashed at home to West Ham. Do you know what I mean? So they're not coming to this off the back of a good result. And there's a lot of talk about the fact, and I made this point, and I had to kind of check myself that Ange coming in at Forest, Postecoglou coming in at Forest, feels like the opposite of what they've been doing. Like literally the opposite. They seem to be a counter-attacking team that are set up to play deep and then spring, whereas Postecoglou is the opposite. He's about, we're going to press high, we're going to push up the pitch. But some of those players, players should be still adaptable, and they can change to Postecoglou's tactics. All right, it might take longer than the week they've got this week to do that. But I don't want to hear no excuses from Arsenal. This is, in a really funny way, the Liverpool game, although we lost it in the end, Liverpool away isn't the game that I fear. I fear. Man City, Man United, Chelsea, those aren't the games that I fear anymore. I trust that in those games we're going to at least perform well, if not get the win. It's these games that lost us the league last year. It's those games at home to Nottingham Forest where they may defend deep and be hard to break down and frustrate us. They're the games that I fear for more than the more high profile games. These are the games that win you titles. It's the 3 points against those mid to lower level standings that win you titles. Yeah, you want to take points off your rivals, of course. But ultimately, we didn't lose the league last year because we drew with Liverpool twice. We lost the league because we lost to West Ham at home. We lost the league because we drew at Everton at home. We lost the league because we drew at Fulham, I think, home and away last season. That's where you lose the league. You got to beat those teams. So as decent as Forest a team are, I'm sorry, I don't want to hear any excuses about, oh, they're going to have a bounce because the new manager. Get the job done. Again, I'm holding the fans accountable for their rhetoric, which is this has to be the year. This is the year he's got to win the title. Okay, well then you got to beat Forest at home. I'm sorry, you got better players than Forest. You got a better manager than Forest. You're at home. I don't want to hear any excuses, right? These are the games you've got to find a way to win. And these are the games where if they do play a low block, which I predict they probably will, this is the games where I'm sorry, but I'm looking at Gyökeres to make the difference. Again, we scored goals against Liverpool last year. I can almost give him a pass in those bigger games, because those bigger games we score goals. It's these games where it's tight, where you get to 70 minutes and it's 0-0 or 1-1, and you need your centre forward to just do something out of nothing, bang, win you the game. I'm looking at him in these games. So I'm not digging him out. I'm just saying the pressure is on. And these are the games where in tight scenarios, get it done. No excuses, get it done.
Obviously, some players, we are looking at certain players. That's a lot of our hopes rest on certain players. But I do think it, especially with this one now off the back of the Liverpool one and the way we lost the Liverpool one, we've got to create more chances, and it all comes to Mikel Arteta. I think first and foremost, before everyone else needs to step up, I think he needs to now step up and change up, step up, whatever the way you look at it, because there has to be something different to what we saw. Not just against Liverpool, but first half against Leeds and against Man United too. It's hardly been exhilarating stuff this season, and it's no divine right to be witnessing exhilarating stuff week in, week out, but the intent needs to be at the very least a bit more progressive, expansive, a bit more risky in possession. I think that's primarily what I need to see first, and I think off the back of that, you'd get Gyökeres shining, you'd get Madueke even. The way if we play on transition, you can see what he can do.
So on that point, just before Lee comes back in, we've all spoken about, and I think the fan base has spoken about the need to be a bit more, take the handbrake off, be a bit more open with our play. I think we've all agreed that we need to see more of that. I've been thinking about it. I don't think we're going to see that. I just don't think Arteta's going to ever do that. I don't think it will change, right? So if I'm right in that we're not going to win the league by being a little bit more open and expansive and scoring lots of goals, we'll have to win the league the other way. We're going to have to win the league by being tight at the back and nicking the few chances that we do create. Now, that brings it in itself a risk as well, because you're then saying we need to win games off of A, keeping as many clean sheets as possible, but B, you might create 3 good chances. You got to take 2. That's a lot of pressure. But I fear that is the way that Mikel Arteta. Can you two see Mikel Arteta changing this season?
But that's what
I
that's
can't
what he's
see
done.
him.
That's what he's done though, and it hasn't worked. So if he does that again and it doesn't work, then I'm not, like 3 years in a row. Well, actually, 22, 23 season, I think it was a nice balance. The attack was attacking as well. But I think the next 2 seasons, his mental approach to the game has been to secure shot first and then get what you can, which in turn makes those misses from a Kai Havertz even more wow, because like you said, there's 2-3 chances a game. So that's, in my opinion, that's been done. Being that,
No,
yeah.
I'm not agreeing with it. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. I'm just questioning. We're all saying, Mikel, just open up a little bit more. I just don't see him changing. I would love him to, and I could be wrong. But
If he doesn't, Jordan, he's gone. Simple as that. He's gone. You know what I mean? Like, whether you like it or whether you don't, he's got to change it a little bit. I don't say that he's. I think that there's a debate that you can do this in certain games and whatever. I think but there's games when you got to open up and be more expansive, and Nottingham Forest at home is one of those. I look back at last season as this possession-based football that he played and all that. We conceded a lot of goals at home and lost a lot of games at home, or dropped points at home. Crystal Palace, as you mentioned earlier on in what you said, was another one that springs to mind. We didn't win, and there was lots of games like that last season that weren't very interesting, if I'll be honest. You know what I mean? It was a bit of a chore to go and watch the Arsenal. Now, it wasn't 2 seasons before that. And the reason that Arsenal didn't win the league that season was because the likes of Saliba got injured and Tomiyasu got injured, and we brought in people like Holding, and the drop-off was so bad. That excuse is not there now. He's got a strong enough squad to go back to that and then have players to recover from it. Like, Saliba went down in the first couple of minutes against Liverpool, and if we'd be really honest, it wasn't missed. That's a fantastic thing to have. You know what I mean? Like, your best player that's defensively not being missed. Now, I accept that over 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games that he's going to be missed, but 1 or 2 maybe not. And so I think for Mikel to go back to that and trust in the squad that he's got. There's been a lot of talk about Arteta over this transfer window, and even international break, that in the past he hasn't trusted his squad players, or he hasn't trusted players. You know what I mean? And that's why he's got to now trust the squad that he's been given. Otherwise, what's the point of having that big squad if you're not going to trust it and trust in what you've built and what he has built? And this is where I give him the praise for everything. He's built a magnificent defensive unit, magnificent, and we get ridiculed for it a little bit and everything like that. But trust me, I look back at, there was a thing come up the other day. Arsene Wenger's last game, I think it was, in charge of Arsenal, and look at the defence that he had to the defence that Mikel's got now, you know what I mean? So recruitment and everything there's been brilliant. He's realised that you need to have a very, very good defence to win the league. And one of the reasons we do well at home and well against the top boys in this league is because you've got a good defence. You know what I mean? We used to play very, very good football against the top teams, and first attack we was a goal down and things like that. We've got a very, very good defence, so I don't think you need to be playing 3 midfield players in front of it to protect it in any game. That's my opinion. I think you've got what it is. I see Declan Rice playing for England, pushing forward now. That it seems that England feel that that's his best position as well. So I think that he can be rotated a little bit there, but I think that midfield now has got to be sorted out. I'm in this camp now. There's no passengers no more. No passengers in that midfield, and that means Martin Odegaard as well. You've come on the back of a nice little international break for him, because the first game was a friendly, so that's like 45 minutes at the end, and then a nice easy one against Moldova. So what he can come back, he should be coming back fresh and looking now to be really the man in that midfield. And if he's not, then Mikel finds someone else that is. And it's as simple as that now. You've got to be ruthless. You know, I've seen the clips of Brazil, Martinelli taking his man on in the game and doing different things, which I haven't seen him do at Arsenal. Is that something to do with the manager then? Like a manager that trusts him and believes in him? I don't know, like, you know. But what Mikel has got to do is to get those forwards clicking. That is his job now. That is his job. You know, Gyökeres hasn't done particularly well in Sweden. He's probably the only one that hasn't took a little bit of criticism. But I look at that and go, right, well, what's the benefits of that? Another 90 minutes in his legs. You know, he's now got no excuses of not coming back from this bit now, on which I've given him a little pass for. He's not quite fit enough. He should be up and running by now, like, you know what I mean? And so I expect a different Gyökeres now. Like, if I don't see a different Gyökeres, I'm looking at it and going, well, I'm not looking at Gyökeres, I'm looking at Mikel. Why are you not getting the best out of this centre forward? You know, Madueke, I thought, was outstanding in the game I see. I didn't see the game against Andorra, but on Tuesday night, I thought he was sensational. Like the way that he played, very similar to the way he played against Liverpool. Really, got the ball and attacked them. Well, what did he have? He had an end product. So he's got to produce an end product. That, you know, maybe that's something that Mikel can do as well. Like, you know, so listen, I think that it is all on the manager now. You know, because at the end of the day, the excuses that have been made is, one, he's not had the squad. He's got the squad now. He's got the players. You know, you can't keep changing players and spending 300, 400 million every summer and then go, well, something's not quite correct. So it is now the manager. It is the style of play that he puts out there. And let's put a bit of pressure on Mikel now. I was in a press conference when when they talked about pressure. He's bring it on. That's what it's all about. You know, he's up for it. He's up for it. You know what I mean? Now he's got to prove it. And, you know, I don't want to see people saying, oh, like, we got Saka out now and we got so-and-so out now. You've rectified that with a very, very good transfer window, boys. We have, where we've improved the squad. And at the end of the day, you know what I mean? I don't know how you guys feel, a little bit peeved about what, you know, keep reading about Saka. You know, the disrespect for him is unreal. Like, you know, he shouldn't even be in the England side, let alone the Arsenal side. He shouldn't be in there. He's been our best player in the last, how many years. But at the end of the day, I'm not saying that I don't want to see Saka playing tomorrow. Saturday. I don't want to see him playing in the next couple of games because I don't want him rushed back, where in the past we've rushed him back and he's breaking down. I want him to be ready. And the reason that I don't want him back is not because I don't want. It's because we've got good replacements now that can play and do that job, where we're not relying on him as much as what we have done in the past. So it's all down to the manager now. Like, I know the Colts won't like it, but that's what it is.
Lee, you spoke for a while, and I see many interesting faces from Jordan. So I don't know which face to inquire about most, if I'm honest with you. But Jordan,
let me go back to Lee's point about the defense, which I totally agree with. It makes it more baffling as to why he doesn't let the team attack more, because you've built this brilliant defense.
Yeah.
Like, you've got some brilliant one-on-one defenders. I would back Saliba and Gabriel 2-on-2 against any front two in Europe. I genuinely would. Forget 3-on-2 and having cover. I'd back Timber. I've said before, I think Timber's probably the best one-on-one defender in the league. So the fact that you've got guys that can actually handle themselves one-on-one, it means it makes the playing 3 DMs and 2 midfielders at times even more baffling. You've worked so hard to make Arsenal a team that are robust, disciplined, positionally astute, and that wins their headers, wins second ball. You've worked so hard to take us away from being the soft touch Arsenal, the disorganized Arsenal, the easy to kind of get up and at them Arsenal, which we were for a decade. Let's have it right. Yeah. We had nice, pretty technical players, but if you put it on Arsenal, you knew they didn't want it. They didn't want it. You've worked hard to do the opposite. We are robust. You look at those players coming out of the tunnel for most games, they're all 6 foot plus. They're all 6'2" plus. They're beasts. And not only are they beasts, they don't get bullied. So the fact that you've built this foundation of great defenders and great defense, you're probably the one team that probably can take risks going forward, knowing full well if it breaks down in the attack, you've got Saliba at the back, you've got Rice at the back, you've got Timber at the back. So that makes it even more weird for me that we don't defend. Like if you're Man United, I get why you might defend a bit more cautious. You might be a bit more, I get it. Because your defenders are whack. your setup is whack. But ours is so good. So that's the first thing I wanted, just to kind of totally agree with Lee on the defense. Now, Madueke. That's why I was a little bit, this is where Lee lost me. Because I've heard a lot of people talk about Madueke's performances for England this week. And it's a bit of an extension to my point on the last pod about his performance and the praise he got in the Liverpool game. And I just don't understand when people, like Lee used the word sensational and absolutely amazing, just to quote Lee, right? And maybe I'm being the word police here. Maybe I'm just kind of being a bit too pedantic. But I'm sorry, sensational, he wasn't sensational, Lee. He wasn't amazing. And if he was, I need people to tell me what he did that was sensational or amazing. The goal he scored was a very good goal. It's composed. It's a good finish. It's direct. It's everything I want from my winger. It was a really good goal. That aside, I need some help in understanding what constitutes amazing or sensational. I'm prepared to be convinced here, but
listen, maybe I'm over the top of it because what I see of it, every time he got the ball, he took on the fullback. Every time he got the ball, he went past the fullback.
he didn't know.
Well, listen,
did he go past the fullback every time?
We got into the box. I thought we attacked the fullback really well. And listen, at the end of the day, you're not going to you're playing international football. You're not going to beat an international footballer all the time. But I thought we ran ragged. And the movement for the goal, I don't think it's not just his finishing that for the goal for me. He was the one that started it. He's the one that picks the ball up, drops it off, and I don't know who it was to, and then it was flicked on by Rodgers, who, by the way, was brilliant as well on the day. And I just thought that what I see of him was something that I've not expected or seen any other. If I was sort of not watching it football and all that, and I thought, whoa, wow, where's this player come from? I thought he was really, really good. I guess, as a wide player, you're never ever going to beat your man every single time. But what I liked about it was his positivity,
I agree
confidence. That's another thing when you play for England. You know what I mean? People don't do what they normally do and go into their shell a little bit. Every time he got the ball, there was what I liked about his performance was he wasn't scared to lose the ball. If it didn't happen, right? Here he was again doing exactly the same thing 2 minutes later or 10 minutes later when he got the ball. Also, when he was always, which I think is something that can be like every time he got the ball, straight out to the wide area, giving an option, making sure that the team was stretched and all that. Not trudging back to get into a right back position or anything like that. It was all positive. This is away to Serbia. I know it's a different thing, but this is a team that we spoke. But this was a team that set up defensively as well, Jordan. That's another thing I want to put out there.
Yeah.
That put out a block of a lot of midfield players in there, and what he done and the way that he done it, he stretched and stretched and stretched. And I do think that because of that, not just him, by the way, I think like Anthony Gordon done it as well, but not as well as Madueke, in my opinion. Still stretched and all that. But what he done was he kept going relentlessly down that side. And in the end, they couldn't handle that, And I don't think it's just about the way you play. It's the way that he played as well. And
the intent was there. There
was a lot more intent. And it was there was I think it might have been in the second half. There was a long ball. It might have been Declan Rice. I'm not saying it is. Made a 50, 60-yard pass. Comes down onto his left foot, touch it, and he's going straight at the player and all that. So I just think that it was a very, very good performance from him. One that I didn't, maybe I'm going a little bit overboard because it's one that I never expected. from him.
And I think that's my point, Lee. My fear is the bar is being lowered.
Oh, yeah,
I
it has been.
agree that his performance was positive. I agree that the intent to try and get at his fullback was definitely there, and that bodes well for Arsenal. And I'm not killing the guy because whilst I don't think he's a brilliant, amazing winger, I think he can be effective, and I think he can do a job for us and help us this year. So I'm backing the guy, and I'm giving him a chance. I'm not killing him.
I think
I'm just trying to have a little bit of caution. Even in the pre-match chat on ITV, Madueke was brilliant in the game against Andorra. And I'm like, these words for me are just making me think that people were judging wing play differently, clearly. Wing play for me, can you beat your man? Or how many times do you beat your man? Can you get some shots off on target? And can you get some crosses in? Over the course of the game, I think he got maybe 2 crosses in. I think he beat his fullback once, maybe twice. And what was it? Crosses, shots on target, and beating his fullback once. That for me is not a brilliant performance. I don't think over the course of 80 minutes, let's say he plays for 75, 80 minutes before being subbed in an average game. I don't think it's unreasonable to expect him to beat his fullback 2 or 3 times minimum. Can you get 2 or 3 shots off? Can you get 2 or 3 crosses in? That for me is acceptable a day's work. He didn't reach those metrics, in my opinion. So whilst the intent was there, the confidence was definitely there. I think the analysis of how he performed is massively overinflated. And look, the benefits we might see on Saturday. Saturday, he might play, rip it up, and it might be because of the 2 games for England. So I'm not killing the guy. I'm just saying, when I hear people talk about Madueke's performance, similar against Liverpool, he ripped Kirkes. No, he didn't. He beat him a couple of times, but he got done a couple of times. He didn't rip Kirkes. I thought that was a fair battle, that he had his part of it. We just got to be careful, I think, as Arsenal fans. We don't overinflate these performances. And let me tell you why. Because I heard this for 2.5 years against the other winger we've got on the left. He had a really good game. And I'm thinking, he got on the ball lots, but what was his output? What was his output? Let's drill down what his output was. His output wasn't very, very good. I can get on the ball lots. I can take on my man lots, but taking on your guy doesn't mean anything if you're not crossing the ball or getting a shot off. Do you know what I mean? Or beating your man. Don't take on your man, beat your man. And you won't always beat your fullback. I get that. But over the course of the England game I watched this week, I think he beat his fullback, I think twice. And definitely once, maybe twice. That's not great.
A lot of it comes down to the situation at play with us. And to be honest with you, I mean, England and Arsenal have one thing in common, especially recently, our performances are quite dull. So when you get little moments in a game that might not get you out your seat like a moment used to get you out your seat maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago in football, because I think the bar was a bit higher for attackers, especially in terms of what you expect over the 90 minutes. But because of systems and just general dull play from England and Arsenal, and wingers in particular, outside of Saka for both England and Arsenal, when you see moments, when you see a drop of the shoulder, beating, they are magnified more than they used to be, for sure. Because I definitely saw moments from him, but it's definitely not one where I look at and it's giving me more confidence, because the goal he scored, Arteta needs to change up how we play for him to be able to get those opportunities. And I think that's his strengths. His strengths is running in off the last man rather than facing up. Even facing up, I think he's got the ability to beat his fullback, which is refreshing for us, because Martinelli on the other side hasn't had that over the years. I also think it's magnified, because I do think he had his moments, you know, in terms of positive moments in the game. You look around the England team and, you know, there isn't much excitement anyway. So any little moment you look at, you think, oh, that was nice. And you remember it more. Whereas I think football 20 years ago, wingers were always on the ball. Wingers were, as soon as a winger got the ball, they're attacking every single time. So you can judge a winger by, he took on his man probably 10, 15 times. And nowadays it's like 3, 4, 5 times at most.
And just lastly from me, because I had this chat with some Arsenal fans in a group I'm in this week, people saying, oh, but because teams play a low block, it's harder to beat your guy one-on-one and get past him. True, fine. Then get shots off. If beating your man isn't your thing, cool, because they're defending deep, get shots off. Do you know what I mean? Wingers can do more than one thing. Like, all right, I didn't beat my man. in this game, but I got 4 or 5. I tested the keeper 4 or 5 times. Cool. All right. I couldn't get 4 or 5 shots off, but I put in 4 or 5 really good crosses. If the guy scores it or misses it, that's not on you. But I at least put those crosses in. I need to see a bit more. And I'm being a bit hard on him because that's the standard I expect from Saka, from Martinelli, from Trossard, all our wingers. They can all get it. There's no preference here. I don't have favorites. The standard is high. And when I hear our fan base talking about he ripped this and he had a great game at Anfield, I'm like, great game.
I agree with you. Didn't have a great game at Anfield. He played well at Anfield, but
it was all right. Yeah, it was all right.
I'm with you on that. But also, his performance is helped by other players around him, and I think that's something where the spotlight comes on Odegaard. They were defending they were playing like blocks and all that. Don't get me wrong, Serbia, and probably Andorra was as well. But what happened was in that game is, if you look back in that game, and it was Morgan Rogers, it's when to play a first-time pass and when not to. And I think that Odegaard holds on to the ball far too long. And I think when you get into tight situations in those sort of areas, the less touches you have, the more chance you've got of opening up a low block. If you have a look at that, it's a first-time pass, a flick. And that's something that sometimes you've got to do. It's in that area where Odegaard plays, and what Odegaard does, where they have 4 or 5 turning, quick turn, just play it quickly, first time in. And that's where I think Arsenal have not done that. I think that possession base comes into it. And then you've got the pressure of not being able, the pressure of a winger actually taking a man on. Because if you have a look at that, you just put the ball inside and it's then a chase. And I'll tell you what did impress me more than anything about Madueke was his pace. I didn't realise he was as quick as that. That was one thing that, and maybe that excites me because, we know Saka's fast, but I don't think, I wouldn't say he's as quick as him on a run. You know what I mean? I think Saka would probably be quicker with the ball, which is another story. But, there's what I see about that thing is that there's ammunition there for us. You know what I mean? There's something for us going forward, which impressed me. I've always said the one thing that we lack is an out and out winger, which is like direct wingers. You know what I'm saying? Someone that's direct, and I think he could be that. You know what I mean? And that gives us a different string to our bow, and that's something that Arteta's got to use. And the way you use that is Odegaard has to be a little bit more quick. Not just him, other players as well, because I do think that Gyökeres is not. If I'm Gyökeres at the moment, I'm banging on the door going, I'm making runs and no one's passing to me. So I think that's something that's got to be looked at. And hope the trouble is now with us guys, and this is the big worry for me about Arsenal, and this is not a criticism of Mikel or anything like that, is when is he going to get the time to do all of this now? Because you've got 2 days now. They're back today, you know what I mean? Like they've got to rest and recover. They play Saturday. They then will recover on Sunday. They've got to train on Monday, travel, play. When do they get all of this work in? Like, you know what I mean? Because from now until I think it's January, if I'm not mistaken, it's every single week we've got a game now. So you're not able to get on the training camp and get this done. Now, when you say about great defending and work, it's easier to set up defensive than attacking wise. And I think it's something that we've got to work on, but where do we work on it? That's my big fear now.
Bearing in mind time, is there any shocks to the lineup that you men would suggest? I mean, if I go through it, I'd say Gyökeres starts up top, Madueke starts on the right. Does Eze start on the left for you guys?
Yeah. You don't bring this is the time to bring him in, like, you know what I mean? I get a little bit of what people, Anfield away is, to make your debut is a tough one, like, mate. I'm not making this. I can understand why he wasn't played in that game. Home against Nottingham Forest, you've got to start.
Yeah. Jordan, you went quiet.
It's so fantastic when he says that, and he Unbelievable. That's the best. That's the best thing he's ever said.
I didn't want to interrupt.
No, I don't
You
think
know what?
no, no.
You know what? Because I was doing some other stuff in the background. I was trying to not make that interfere
You're
audio
eating
wise.
your grapes
Let me
again.
mute it.
Gee, how has this man made a living? I really don't know. Like, you know what I mean?
His book's out soon anyway. His book's
It's
out soon.
incredible. Like,
We'll get a
you know,
sign.
he'd go to a book signing. You know, years to come, he'd go to a book signing thing without a pen. You know what I mean? Like, it's just unreal. Like, you know what I mean?
What I was saying was, I've got to say now, because as I said earlier on, Forest may set up and be quite tight and rigid. I just think you need somebody like
What, Ange
Eze.
Postecoglou?
Well, we don't know, but if he's smart, he will leave it as it is. If he's smart, until he can get his
I'm
way.
not saying he ain't smart, but he very rarely left it rigid
Listen,
for
if he wants to play us bang for bang, it's going to be 5-0 Arsenal, right? If he wants to do what he did at Tottenham, I'll welcome that. Please do that, because you'll get smashed. You'll get absolutely battered. But if he's smart, he'll be like, you know what? What got these guys into Europe last year was being defensively tight, rigid, coming to places like the Emirates and being defensively disciplined. And we've got players that can hit on the counter. Until I can get my way on this team, let me just run with that. If he's smart. But if he's not, fine.
Listen, can I just say something about that, Julian? Like, it's a little bit of a myth. We never smashed them. Never.
No. Okay.
Never.
We beat them every time.
We beat them, but apart from one.
Yeah, you're right.
But
actually, last year we beat them 3-0, no?
When we beat them 3-0?
Last
3-1.
year.
3-1.
Didn't we come off?
It was 3-0.
3-2, yeah. 3-2. 3-2.
Okay.
Shouldn't smash them.
Yeah.
Was it 3-2? Yeah, I think
we were 3 up, and then they scored 2 goals.
Yeah, we was 3-0 up at half time.
Ah, yeah.
Should have gone on and smashed them, but it was 3-2, and we was hanging on at the end. You know, drew them 2-2 at the Emirates, 2-1 at the Emirates last season. It was a difficult game, and 1-0. So listen,
you're right.
It's not. I don't. You know, we're not going to smash them. Like, you know, I mean, if we do,
no. You're right to call me on that. You're right to pull me up on that. You're totally
you
right.
called me out about Meadowake. I'm going to call you out.
1-1.
Thank you, Turkish. Thank you.
Injury time.
Touche. But my point is that if they set up the way that I think they should set up, then I think someone like Eze is going to be needed. And also, the flirt just doesn't deserve to start. He didn't deserve to start. So if we're going to try and integrate Eze ASAP, I think now a home game, give him 60 minutes or however long you want to give him to kind of really try and make that shirt his. Because there's a conversation that's coming up very quickly about Odegaard in the middle. I think Odegaard is on borrowed time now as well. He's got to start stepping up as well. So I think let's get Eze into the team as soon as possible and get him integrated. And I think this is the sort of game where you might need someone that's got quick feet, can wing free kicks, take on a man, and maybe distract from Madueke on the other side. And you've got 2 wingers there that are kind of unknown at the moment in an Arsenal team. So no, for me, for Eze starts for me, yeah.
Yeah, well, starts all around here. People let us know in the comment section. I guess the rest of the team picks itself. Rice, Subamendi, Odegaard, Gabriel alongside Mosquera because Saliba's out.
That 3, because that 3 needs work.
It does.
Rice, it's not working at the moment. I don't quite know why, but it's not working. That needs a bit.
I think it's more instruction based because going back to again, let's just use Martinelli as an example, which Lee mentioned earlier. Even for Brazil, you're seeing him do things that he doesn't even attempt anymore at Arsenal. So you can only say it must be instruction, you know. Even Odegaard, I mean, he pulled out a couple assists and a goal, I think, as well over the international break. I think he's got the most assists in all-round qualifying for the World Cup. I think he's got 6 or 7. I read that somewhere, I'm sure of it. So I think it all comes down to the tactical tweaks necessary to open Odegaard up, to make sure that midfield does what on paper you'd expect it to do. It's got all the ingredients needed for a midfield to excel. It's just the pace of it that's been the problem, in my opinion. But yeah, we will see. Mosquera stepped in for Saliba. I assume he stepped in against Liverpool, stepped up, and everything else is normal. Timber right back, Calafiori left back. First time in a long time we've come out of international break with with a healthy enough squad, I say. I mean, we've had our injuries before the international break, but the international break hasn't added anything to the table, people. So hit the like button, make sure you are subscribed. Before we move into predictions, it's final one standing. If you, like me, are still in with a chance to win that 500k, because I'm carrying Fourever on my shoulders right now in terms of, that first entry, that first grand prize. I'm still in it. These man can't say the same, but what I can say to these man is this week, get your team in. There's a 200k pot, a chance to win 200k if you enter your team from now. So, I mean, even when you're out of this game, you can still just jump straight back in it. I don't really think it's,
It's pretty good.
too fair.
I'm still in the other one. I've got a couple of rounds through after being knocked out early. I'm still going on in that one, and I've gone for Newcastle this time around, like at home.
Wolves
against Wolves. I think that's the banker for me. So I've joined it. 200,000. Let's bring it on, So I've got. Who did I go for? Because you can't go for Arsenal in this one, can you? Because it's a 12:30 kickoff. But I can in the other one. I think it's the 50,000 pot. I'm still in, and I've gone for the mighty Arsenal on that one. So I think that let's see what happens anyway. It's only 50k in it.
That's only
week's work, isn't it?
Borrow me a fiver, mate. If that comes through, borrow me a fiver. Well, listen, I just mentioned the chance to win 500k. If you're right at that, you could be juggling pots like Lee. He's in.
I'm juggling, man. I'm juggling.
Hedging his bets, as they say. Go on, Jordan. I mean,
I'm trying to work out who I picked.
I've looked at Newcastle Wolves. I think Newcastle Wolves and Liverpool away to Burnley were my outstanding favourites.
What have you gone for?
I'm going to go Newcastle just because my first three have all been big six sides, even though Man United, I mean, do you still call them that? I mean, on paper, yeah. But if I pick Liverpool, that's four big six sides out the way. So the future's not looking too bright. So I'm thinking maybe go Newcastle now and then save Liverpool for a trip down the line. So yeah, I'm gonna go with you, Lee. Newcastle. Yeah.
I've got Newcastle as well. Yeah, I just checked it.
All right, I'm gonna change mine then because that's
we're all good changing now.
I'm going Liverpool. I'm actually going Liverpool. That's.
I think I'm gonna go Liverpool. No, I think the curse of Jordan.
You better killing me.
Newcastle.
You better killing me.
Spin the block. We went in with our explanations, and then he says Newcastle, and we're both we're out. Yeah, Liverpool way to Burnley. People, make sure if you use us to assist in your predictions, then use us. But listen, we don't know what we're doing either, people. It's just a game. It's free to play. There's a QR code on the screen. There's a link in the description. Obviously, please gamble responsibly. 18 plus only. Pick your teams, get involved, and juggle pots, or just play along, people. Play along. We originally went for Newcastle, but a couple of us have changed to Liverpool. One's gone with Newcastle. Who are you going to go with? It's up to you. Hit the like button.
The great thing, you can change it. You know what I mean? You can put it in, but you can change it.
Last minute,
you can, someone comes along and says, they're having Newcastle, you can change it.
Maybe I might change my last minute, yeah? And I won't tell
you. But please tell us if you change it to Liverpool.
Please, give us the heads up. 2 minutes at least, because, we need a bit of time to open the app. But there you go, people. Show William Hill's final one standing some love, but obviously show the video some love to. Hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. And let's get on to predictions. As there's only three of us, I haven't updated the 3-person template for the season yet, so I can't put the table on the screen. But me, Jordan, and Lee have 2 points each, and James has got 1 point. I've got James's prediction on deck. It's just to get ours out of the way first. So first on the leaderboard is Jordan by alphabet.
I forgot about this predictions. I'm going to go for an Arsenal win. I'm going to go 2-0.
2-0.
2-0.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go with, 2-0.
Yeah, still early days.
Yeah. 3-0.
Oof, 2-0, 3-0. Forest, they lost 3-0 at home to West Ham. Ange Postecoglou. 2-0, 3-0. Because I know what James went with as well. I'm just going to hope, pray that the switch is flicked. 4-1.
Ooh.
4-1 Arsenal. And
Right,
James has gone 3-1.
3-1 then, yeah?
Yeah. You see, Lee, you know the game, man.
You're a snake, you are. No, don't even tell us that, does he? Like,
I know.
Don't even tell us that, but he keeps that little bit of info for himself, like, you know what I mean?
Nah, man. If you want to, no one asked. You don't ask, you don't get. You don't ask, you don't get. 2-0, 3-0, 3-1, 4-1. That's the predictions over here. People, let us know yours in the comment section below, as always. And yeah, we're coming up to the end of the show. Obviously, we're doing a couple shows a week now. People, I say a week, international break. We haven't, but I mean, preview, review, that's a little change from the norm from last season. Last season, we were just reviewing games post game. But the games are coming thick and fast. Champions League back this month. Carabao Cup back this month. So, yeah, 5 fixtures in September, and we're already 11 days in and haven't had one in September. So, yeah, a lot of games coming up. So, a lot of pods coming up, people. So, make sure you're subscribed. Comments of the day. Are we all good?
Yes, sir.
I haven't got one, I'm afraid. Like, you know what I mean? I totally forgot about that because it's been international break. Sorry about that.
What does that mean?
He blamed international break.
Yeah.
Well, I've been in holiday mode. That's what it is, like, you know what I mean? So, well, I can get one if you want quickly, but
no, it's all right. Don't worry, man.
I thought I'd be honest today and say that instead of scrolling through. I thought I'd be honest.
Well, I'll just quickly go. So I've been on this podcast this is my fifth. How long have you been doing the pod for? 6 years?
5 years.
Right. So this is my 4th year on the podcast, right? And I've never had so much love from the comments.
That's probably why I didn't comment.
Shut up. But first of all, 1,300 comments from the community. Big up the community on that one. All the response was really positive. That's one of our highest amounts of comments that we've had. So big up the community. And yeah, I'd say at least 1,000 of those were complimentary towards me. So big up myself. I was a bit uncomfortable with it, actually. I didn't know how to.
1001 maybe 1001.
Yeah. I don't like all the love, so thank you. But one thing I did pick out, which is a comment that made me chuckle, just said James back in his student accommodation for the start of the semester.
Because he set up shop somewhere different.
It did look like dorms. So and 2 shout outs. First of all, shout out to Billy, big fan of the podcast. I bumped into Billy on the street. And a shout out to, I've forgotten the guy's name, and I'm really angry because I bumped into him. You'll know who he is. Round the corner, the Cut in Waterloo. Big fan of the podcast. Sorry, bro, I've forgotten your name, but you know who you are. By the Cut, by the market, around the corner from where I live. Fan of the podcast. Shout you out. Send a comment and I'll shout your name out because I wanted to remember your name, but I forgot. But big up you, big up Billy, big up the community.
As always, love. And listen, I saw all the love Jordan was getting, and it took not made me sick. It took a little while to get something I liked, and I found one. Why So Serious said the moment Jordan does his pre-game rally cry, I know we're going to lose. I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. And Jordan starts his serious face. He starts counting what he wants. You know that's the goals going in.
It's a wrap.
Cool. That's coming to the day.
I did see one comment there where it said I didn't smile through the whole pod, like, you know what I mean? And think how things are to come, like, but it is bad.
You were raging.
We're not smiling on a pod. That shows you how disappointed we was with the game against Liverpool, which is not a bad thing when you think about it. We've gone and lost to Liverpool and none of us were happy.
No, but Lily, there was a pod, it might have been the last pod or the pod before last. There was one bit you were fuming. I think it was the last pod.
At the beginning, I think it was.
At the beginning, yeah, me, Turkish and James were having a lot of laugh and joke. You were raging.
Yeah, I still had the hump, didn't I? Like, you know what I mean? So that it took me, I'll be honest, and I know this is silly, but it took me a few days to get over that Liverpool result, you know.
I can see.
It really did, like, you know what I mean? So, It's not the defeat. It was the way we lost the game. It was very disappointing. Like, you know, so I don't want many games like that, because I do like to come on the pod and be happy. You know what I mean? But
Ideally,
ideally,
I'd like to come on the pod one day as Premier League champions. That would be the best. I think the best day of the pods.
Well, that would be unbelievable.
Brief lifespan, but yeah, even Lee managed to get one comment of the day in off the dome,
Well
people.
done, mate.
So
Well done.
hit the like button. We've all checked in with a comment of the day, so make sure you leave your comments for the next show. Comment of the day. We'll be back after the Forest game, and obviously before the Champions League game next week away to Bilbao. So yeah, with Lee going over there, it should be out maybe early Monday morning, if not Sunday evening. We'll work it out, people, but make sure you're subscribed, hit the like button, and you'll know exactly when it is. Big up Jordan, big up Lee, and big up James. We'll see you again on the next one, James. Community, see you when we see you. Love for the lovers always. Give us your thoughts, predictions, all of that in the comment section below. Big up William Hill, final one standing, free to play. QR code on the screen, links in the description. You know what to do, people. Love for the love. We'll see you soon. Come on, Arsenal.